What is up? What is up? We are back in black in the building. Again, we made it back another day. Y'all already know I gotta hit y'all with it. Did Jesus come back? Oh man, don't tell me he didn't come back. Oh, you did all that. Hubba bashunda and all those bullshit and the nigga didn't come back. Oh, that's fucked up, man. God damn. Praying to Cesare, that's what it'll get you. Shout out to everybody out there that's at the Core Plantation right now, making it do what it do. Man, there's so much going on. If you didn't go check out the podcast yesterday, the Sambo Mammy Show with me and my brother Nick, go check that out. That was yesterday. We had a great time. Talked about some real good things, so y'all go check that shit out. Shout out to everybody out there that's handling business, that's not at the corporate plantation, that's like, shit, I'm going to go ahead and go to church and chill. Most niggas just go to church because they got to. Go home, smoke. And after they smoke, then they go back to doing what they do. Go to Jesus. Lord, forgive me. Go back, fuck a bitch. Drink. Smoke. Chill. Watch a Laker game. Shout out to everybody out there. See, LeBron was back. Them niggas still lost. God damn. Hey, man. Shout out to Master P, man. Getting his kids. I had to send a special shout out to Master P, man. Y'all need to go check his sons out, man. One of his sons got a $2.9 million deal, I think, to go to Tennessee State. It's either Hersey or Mercy. Hersey or Mercy, one of them. But, man, them brothers, man, Master P got them kids doing their thing. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to everybody out there on their entrepreneurial spirit and trying to make things happen. I think that's what it's about. I think that's what you all should be striving to do. Just have your little side business or some hustle. Man, for everybody out there that's handling business, man, much love and respect to you. And shout out to you at the Core Plantation. Learn how to respond and not how to react. Because, you know, a lot of times we get on these Core Plantations and we don't know how to respond. You know, we think that responding is getting loud and abrupt. And no, you just respond by showing them no type of energy. Don't give them no energy. And that's all you have to do. I hate to do this, but in the subject today, you know, we're going to talk about this young brother, Anthony Thompson Jr., 17-year-old kid that was killed in the bathroom at his school by school police. You know, I hate doing this because, like I said before on the podcast yesterday, damn near every podcast since George Floyd's, verdict, has been of somebody being shot and killed by the police, by race soldiers. So we're going to discuss that and talk about that. And we're going to tie it all into what Kamala Harris is talking about and Tim Scott, how they think there ain't no racism in the United States of America. We're going to get into all that, man. And shout out to everybody that's out there. Hey, man, you better love, live life, and do what's best for you and stay in your lane. Let's get into it. Hey. Man, we are back in black. Man, there's a lot of shit that's going on, man. You know, a lot of shit that's going on, and I see shit, and I just be like, God damn, man. This is the thing. I'm going to still keep bringing this up. You motherfuckers that was sitting up here vote shaming. I remember I got vote shamed by some black people. You ain't vote? He didn't even vote. See, then you can't complain. I said my taxes say different. The fuck? Nigga gonna tell me I can't vote, but these niggas taking taxes out of my check. Nigga, my taxes stay. You better ask all the motherfucking taxes that they take out of my goddamn check to support niggas like you that probably ain't working to go vote for a suck-ass motherfucker like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So before a motherfucker get to try to vote shaming you and telling you that you shouldn't vote, nigga, my taxes say different. That's a fact. Man, I remember when I got vote shamed. I didn't respond at first, but then this black sister, she just kept kind of poking at me. And I said, well, my taxes say different. Plus, you know, I read Black Labor White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson. He says not to vote for people, but vote your interests. And she was like, what does that mean? I was like, I'm voting my interests. So I'm voting for whoever is for reparations and giving black folk an economic base for us. She didn't know what to say. She was just kind of quiet and just shut the fuck up. And then the rest of her family in there, they was quiet too. They didn't say shit. Because they didn't know I was going to respond like that. They thought I was just going to use I don't vote because they cheat and stuff. No, yeah, we know that. I got a book called Vote Scam. So we already know that part. I haven't read it yet, but we already know that. But beyond that, you gotta vote your interests. You can't just be vote motherfuckers in there because you like them or because they are AKA. Nigga, that's not how it work for black people. But motherfuckers be thinking that it worked that way. And that's not how it works. So, I can tell you that right now, man. You can say vote your interests. You can say all this other stuff. But I'm going to tell you this. If you don't read and you don't apply what you're reading to your everyday life, then I don't understand how it's going to work anyway for you. That's for one. And two, I don't know why everybody keep believing in this fairy tale that the dominant society is going to be like, oh, now this is just enough killing. We've really got to stop it. Come on, Billy Bob and little Timmy. You got to stop all this killing and murdering black people. You know, they got feelings too. They don't give a fuck about that shit. They going to keep doing it no matter what you say. As Dr. Claude Edison teaches, they do it simply because they can do it. That's why. If they couldn't do it, they wouldn't do it. If there was laws and policies that were put in place, you do that shit, you going to jail for 25 years, they'll stop killing niggas. Some people would, because they'd be a hero in prison. They wouldn't care. But some people would be like, fuck that, I'm not going to prison. Not to say I killed some black person. Fuck that. I just want to know when people going to wake up and start voting for these suck-ass motherfuckers and start looking at what's going on, man. Just like we talked about last night, you got Tim, whatever his name is, and Kamala Harris talking about ain't no racism in the United States of America. Just two Mammy and Sambos. Just saying that shit to be divisive. That's counterproductive. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers wonder why, they're not gonna give us reparations when you got motherfuckers like Mushmouth Herschel Walker and his moist ass son talking about ain't no racism and all. Like, that's another thing too, man. You know, they'll embrace you if you even act like you're part of the LGBTQ element OPXYZ. They like that shit. They like to they love parading around niggas, you know, and then having niggas think that they're part of that community and they're not a part of the black community. It's like, well, hold on, you black first. They see you black before they see you. I don't care if you do switching and got lip gloss on with a lisp. Nigga, that doesn't mean that they don't see you as black first. But a lot of motherfuckers be thinking that shit, man. I be looking at that shit, man. I was having this conversation with my boy. Shout out to my boy Nick yesterday after the podcast. I'm like, bro, man, the hardest thing for black folk is to be on code because we want to show out in front of the dominant society and say slick shit and fuck with each other and do all kinds of slick, phony, fake shit in front of the dominant society. Think we gonna get points? You ain't gonna get no fucking points. You a fucking Sambo. That's what you are. And motherfuckers be want a meritorious manumission. You know what I'm saying? A meritorious manumission is when you do something to help or aid a white person. And then they'll give you a nigga trinket. They may give you a little bit of freedom to sit on the front porch. That's how Hayward Shepherd was able to be on the front porch and tell on John Brown, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's either in Powernomics or it's in Black Labor White World. Matter of fact, I got my phone. I'm about to look that shit up, man. But I'll tell you this. I'm going to play you some audio about this young brother. We're going to get right into it. So we had Marvin Scott that got killed in the county jail. He was there for a weed warrant. Then you got Anthony Thompson Jr., who got shot and killed at his school in the bathroom because I don't know if the girl he dated, I don't know if she was mixed, white or black, I don't know. But I guess they were fighting or arguing, and the white mother called the police. And then she gonna go on TV talking about, I didn't wish this to happen. Bitch, you knew what the fuck was gonna happen when you called the police. Because you didn't give a fuck. Y'all better know who the fuck y'all have around y'all. That's a fact. Here, let me... Hold on, let's see. I'm gonna rewind this shit. See if it even play. It might not even play. Because motherfucking CNN be on some bullshit too. They don't be wanting to play shit. Hold on. Yeah, I'm getting out of that shit. Fuck that. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Here, hold on. Let me see. Because they just had it on here. And I was going to play it. And you know how CNN do. They'll take the shit off, especially when it's black folk. You know what I'm saying? Here's why so many people are skipping their second shot. Man, nigga, fuck that. Fuck with that shit. Let me see if we can find this shit. They probably don't have it. Of course. Let me see. See, that's why and I was just looking at it 30, 45 minutes ago. Now all of a sudden they won't play nothing. They got Lee Merritt and all this other bullshit on there. No, it's not Lee. Yeah, it's Ben Crump. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking for it right now. But if not, I'll just play something else. And the reason why, man, I be liking to give y'all the audio so y'all can see exactly what it is. Just like that, I guess they talking about Mitt Romney getting booed. I don't give a fuck about no, like a nigga said, fuck a Mick Rodney. Shit. Shit, nobody give a fuck about no Mitt Romney. Because his dad marched with Martin Luther King. Everybody's parents marched with Martin Luther King. That doesn't mean that they weren't racist. Just because a motherfucker get to quote Martin Luther King shit, niggas need to stop. Oh, they quote Martin Luther King. They go quote Martin Luther King because he was safe. They not going to ever quote no Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They ain't going to quote no motherfucking Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All they do is say that he was anti-Semitic, but they never say he was lying. I ain't never seen him say he was lying, but I've always seen him say, oh, he's anti-Semitic, he's this, he's that. Yeah, they straight took this shit, man. See, CNN be on some bullshit. They took this shit right, and it was a long-ass interview about a lot of shit, but they had a little mush-mouth kid on there talking too. And that's what I didn't like. Yeah, because I'm looking for this shit right now, man. Fuck it. They want to talk about everything else, but what really needs to happen, and fuck Derek Chauvin too. Derek Chauvin probably gonna get a year in prison. And then niggas gonna be running around here still talking about this. Oh, justice, no peace. Get the fuck out of here. No justice, no peace. Nigga, ain't no justice. Justice is just us. Fuck out of here, man. Motherfuckers is waiting for all these holidays to come up to see where they can wear their new clothes and shit. While these motherfuckers talking about it's gonna be a shortage of chlorine. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Let me see if I found it. Let's see. I'm gonna see if they play it. Let's see. I'm very interested to see if they're gonna play it. No, but we ain't playing no commercials. That's what we don't do on here. I'm over that shit. But while this commercial's playing, I'll tell you this. Since the Chauvin trial, how many niggas ain't got smoked, done got assassinated and lynched? That's a public lynching. When you're going there to kill somebody. You're not going there to apprehend and protect and serve. You're going there to kill somebody because you don't care. And there be 4 or 5 police officers talking about they fear for them life. Hey, 4 or 5 of y'all all fear for y'all life.
Crisis.
The guns need to be stopped.
To know that in what should be one of the safest places that a kid should be, that their life can be taken away, that hurts. That's traumatizing.
Some kids are trying to hide it. Some are marching like me and screaming loud and trying to let people hear.
And see, let me tell y'all something. For all y'all kids and any parents out there, you got kids, don't have your kids out there marching. That's a fucking joke. Nothing gets done by marching. You know what shit gets done? Changing laws. Stop voting motherfuckers in there because they talk black or they pretend like they for you. Stop going around marching. All they do is laugh at you, say, look at these silly little Negroes. They don't understand that. That shit don't work on us. They don't give a fuck, and they don't feel sorry for you.
How do you spell racist? What do we want? Justice. When do we
See? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now.
want it? Now.
Right now we are in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee, where there are dozens of people protesting. They are demanding.
And like I said, you see all the different races out there protesting, but when nigga bring up the reparations shit, niggas get to acting like Jane Elliott. But what about the Native Americans? That shit.
Justice after the death of Anthony Thompson Jr. by police.
Say his name.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
It's not that these students, these young people don't care about dying, it's that we are not offering them real ways of thriving in life. And if this doesn't wake us up, I don't know what will.
Well, George Floyd should have woke us up. Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray. Come on. Alton Sterling, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin. How many do I need to say? Eric Gardner. How many people do I need to say? Didn't what Oscar Grant, he said he was reaching for his gun, but he reaching for his taser, but he shot him with the gun. You knew what you was doing. That was on video, and everybody saw that shit. And guess what they said? Well, you didn't see it because you weren't there. And that's how they feel. And no diss to a lot of these reverends, a lot of these pastors, but y'all niggas are being the brokers between the dominant society and black folk. And then it's always some type of settlement. Like I said, I forgot that sister's name, but her son had got shot in the back and fell in the kitchen. She was on the Breakfast Club. She didn't have no fucking Lee Merritt and no Ben Crump. So they don't even talk about her story no more. She was on the Breakfast Club. But when you seem to have had either Lee Merritt or Ben Crump, your story gets national news. It's sensationalized over the nation. Like everybody see it. They put it on all media outlets. But when you get a real attorney that's really fighting for you, and they ain't trying to brokerage no deal and they ain't trying to settle, you don't get no type of pub. That's a fact.
Right now, we're about to meet up with a 15-year-old who is a student at Austin East High School, and he's going to tell us.
And let me tell you, this kid that he about to meet up with, I'm already knowing. They probably put some mush mouth kid on here. Maybe he not, he probably not moist, but, they're going to put somebody safe. When they put people on TV, they're going to put people safe. That's why you ain't seen Daniel Prude's brother not one time, because he said they shot my brother like a fucking animal. And after that, you never saw him again because he wasn't smiling. Just like the lady who wasn't smiling with the police when they killed her son. And he had a license to carry. Anybody that don't smile with these people, you don't ever see him again. Reminds me of the corporate plantation.
What this past year has been like.
It has been heartbreaking. Some kids are trying to hide it. Some are marching like me and screaming loud. And
see, no diss, but I could tell he was coerced and coached to, I'm marching and all that, so to have other kids think, oh, you can make a difference by marching. No, we've been marching for 80 years and ain't shit changed. Stop.
Trying to let people hear it. There's many students at this school, but they could be feeling many different ways. Some could be sad, some could be very ferocious and angry.
We really are hopeful and willing to do whatever it takes.
And this is a reverend that's out there, which to me seems like an ambulance chaser. No diss, but it's hard, man, because we put on a show for white folk. And we think that they really feel bad for us. They don't. Those people that's marching with you, they going to go right back to their middle-class suburb who they live with. They're going to pat themselves on the back for marching with a Negro. And then they ain't going to change no laws. They're going to get up in that office, and they're never going to tell you what's being said in those rooms. Period. They're not going to tell you. Most white folk are not going to tell you how they really feel about black folk, and they ain't going to tell you what their friends and family really feel about black folk. Just like, I guess this article came out about Eve, and I guess her husband, I seen it on Twitter, her husband was like, yeah, my dad doesn't like black people. And I'm just looking at Eve like, y'all didn't have these conversations before y'all got together? It's like, well, bitch, I think you was just, because you was looking at the money. You wasn't even really looking at anything else. Like, oh, this can change my life. And it's like, well, how does that work? If he's straight out telling you his parents don't like black people, but you gonna marry him anyway, that's crazy. Unless he just don't deal with his dad no more. But I highly doubt that. If his dad don't like black people, I'm pretty sure your billionaire white husband, I'm pretty sure, unless he's doing something in the community that's different from the average, but I'm pretty sure that he has a preconceived notion about black people too. And he just probably likes black pussy hole, so he'll make an exception. That doesn't mean that he likes black culture or he's accepting of it or accepting of black people, period.
See change in the city.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Our city is in crisis.
Take me through what the last week has been like here in Knoxville.
That's some moist nigga from CNN. I don't know, man. And sometimes I'll be getting tired of that shit, man. If you black, you got to be moist or you got to be real feminine to be on TV nowadays. They don't want regular motherfuckers on here that's like, hey, man, like, nah, we're not doing that over here. Matter of fact, your lips are too glossy, homie. Take that motherfucking lip gloss off your motherfucking lips before I snatch the bottom lip and pull it over your head, nigga. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, hey, not over here. You're doing too much.
This city has hit its boiling point. The killing at the hands of law enforcement in the high school bathroom of Anthony Thompson Jr. really solidifies for the community in its feeling of enough is enough.
The 17-year-old was shot and killed by police after a brief but chaotic scuffle captured on this body camera footage. Police say Thompson fired his gun first, hitting a trash can in the bathroom, but others
I bet you he didn't fire no gun. That kid probably ain't had no gun.
in the community don't believe their account.
Of course you ain't gonna press charges.
At the end of the day, we have found that the shooting by Officer Claybo was a justifiable shooting, and there will be no charges.
Allen said police were initially called to the school after Thompson allegedly engaged in a physical fight with his former girlfriend. The former girlfriend's mother told the Knoxville News-Sentinel she regrets making the police report.
Oh, you regret making the police report? Well, he's dead now. So now you regret it. You knew what you was doing. That's white privilege. Now you're going to go into victim mode. Watch. Watch.
My kids miss him. You know, I never meant for any of this.
Oh, bitch, stop. You knew what you was doing. Stop with the bullshit. Stop. I mean, it's so pathetic sometimes when people they play the fucking victim, man, all the time. It gets overwhelming. Here, let's hear it again.
Sentinel, she regrets making the police
play her.
report.
We're gonna say her name.
My kids miss him.
Regina Perkins. Stop. See, what people need to do, they need to be at Regina Perkins' house. Why you call the police? You wanted him dead. Why would you do that? Why didn't you take matters into your own hands? If the boy was at school, why would you call the police on him? He's at school already. You knew what you was doing. Yeah, Regina, what was her name? Hopkins? Yeah, we gonna look at that. Because why ain't nobody mentioning this lady? Why ain't nobody talking about her? She's the one, Regina Perkins. She's the one who called the police. So why we not at her throat? Why don't nobody talk about her? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Perkins, yeah, let's put her up there. Yeah, Regina. You know what you was doing. And now you trying to fucking white-splain and act like, oh, I didn't mean, you knew what you was doing, man. You knew what you was doing.
No, I never meant for any of this to happen.
Stop. You meant for all of it to happen. That moment in time when you picked up the phone and dialed 911, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. And hopefully we get justice in this case.
What you mean, hopefully we get justice? We? Nigga, I don't speak French. Man, black folks should be looking at her like, why the fuck did you call the police, man? You know what they out here doing to fucking people. You know what they doing to black people out here, and you gonna call the police? Now you gonna be like, hopefully we get justice. Justice, he dead. That's the problem. Motherfuckers don't want to call out the motherfucker that's a part of the equation. Now, if you're the person who catapulted the police or was the gaslighter behind the police, aka the race soldiers going out there to do a public lynching or assassinate this young brother, you can't get on TV and be like, I didn't mean for this to happen. No. Then why would you call the police? Why didn't you just tell your daughter to stay away from him? Why would you call the police because you want something done to him? And then when he got killed, you just kind of like, oh, well, my bad. You can't just, oh, my bad. Stop, man.
Went through your mind when you saw the footage of the body cam?
I was angry, and I was just like, they could have done it a million other ways. Communication is key to anything, no matter what your job is. Communication
Yeah.
is key. You know, many stories going around saying, you know, so many kids, it really hurts me to know that a lot of kids are being, they're kids. Some kids they might do things, but that's because nobody's leading them in the right way.
No, we got to fast forward past this. This nigga's little young brother sound a little bit moist. Mush mouth. Sorry, brother. No diss. But that's what they like on TV. They don't want no strong, young black man that's racism. And this is what we're dealing with every day. And y'all wonder why black people are the way they acting. And y'all wonder why we view y'all the way we view y'all. They're not going to have nobody on there. They're going to have a motherfucker on there talking about, it's because it's it's communication. It's like, I guess, man, I know this. I don't know the young brother, but it's like they purposely put those type of people on TV.
What was your reaction when the district attorney announced that the police acted justifiably, in her opinion, saying that they were acting in self-defense?
Yeah, so clearly, we know where the DA is siding. We say that this case deserves justice, but there is no justice. And to know that in what should be one of the safest places, that their life can be taken away in a bathroom at the hands of law enforcement, that hurts. That's traumatizing.
Activists have called for a federal investigation into the
More white people to investigate more white people.
shooting and the police department. Prominent civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump said his office is
What did I tell you? Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, that's why it's on the news. I think Ben Crump and them be calling the news and telling them what's going on. That's what I really think.
reviewing the case and examining the video footage.
The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
I'm seeing all these people look out onto this group.
Yeah.
What do you want them to take away?
They don't give a fuck. This is what's going on. Y'all need to go on CNN and watch it. Now, all these black people and some white people out there yelling Black Lives Matter and all that, all these white people are in these restaurants eating and looking at them like they crazy. That should tell you, because they don't give a fuck about that. But y'all niggas want to be sitting up here, oh yeah, they marched with us. Ask that person to your left and to your right, that's a different racial group, do they believe in reparations for black folks for building this country? They're going to tell you, well, my parents helped build this country too. My parents were immigrants, so they came here in 1895, so they helped build the country was already built, but, let the Italians and every other country, every other racial group, everybody act like they built the country. Every racial group act like they built this country. Every racial group. You know what I mean? That's why it just blows my mind.
What we are here for, justice for Anthony Thompson Jr. The goal is to continue to disturb their peace so much that they start contacting elected officials as well and just saying, look, we don't know what it is or ain't about, but get it solved because we're sick of having them marching in our communities and our streets, disturbing our peace. That's why it's no justice, no peace. Knoxville, Tennessee, Knoxville, you are racist.
And Knoxville, Tennessee don't give a fuck if they're racist. See, that's the thing. You're talking to an infrastructure that's more powerful than God when it comes to the United States of America Incorporated. This is a system. It's a team sport. So you can be marching all you want, but all you doing is preaching to the choir because marching don't get shit done. All it does is it creates a spectacle and you become a minstrel show. And a lot of white folk, they get entertained by that shit. And then they get into their circles and they talk shit about how black people, why don't they just get over it? If he just would have complied with the officer, he'd probably still be alive. That's what most white folk feel in their heart anyway.
Have you lived here in Knoxville?
I'm born and raised from here. I've been here literally my whole life. Other than my 15 years of military service, I went to Afghanistan, 2 tours over there. That was crazy in itself. I will tell you I'm 100% disabled to this day.
Since leaving the military, Every has dedicated her life to activism, leading the nonprofit Black Coffee Justice, which focuses on fighting injustice and supporting candidates that align with their movement.
Say his name!
And you don't think that she was picked to be on CNN? No diss to the sister, but you're not radical in your thinking. I think you're rational in your thinking. Not irrational, but rational. I think this is all purposely planned and orchestrated a certain way. That's just my opinion.
A lot of the gun violence is happening in the black communities, and people like to kind of say, well, it's because of black on black crime. What do you say to that?
It's not black on black crime, it's crime created out of poverty. It is crime created out of lack of infrastructure and resources. And so therefore you have a depletion, or my favorite word that they hate, defunding of a particular community. Governments who invest in social services.
I agree with that, but I'll say this. The dominant society dominates 9 areas of people activity, and economics is the first one. And economically speaking, they own 90% of the nation's wealth, almost 98% of the nation's wealth. Black folk only own 2.1% or 2% of the nation's wealth. And not even that, probably less than that. And the thing that gets me is They expect for black folk not to be disruptive with other black people when they are put into a position where it's not advantageous for black folk, but it is one of those situations where black people have no choice but to fight and argue amongst each other, because who else they gonna argue with? All the other racial groups have natural resources. They're given to them when they get to this country. That's why the Italians can have their businesses and their carpentry businesses and construction businesses and have their unions. That's why the Italians, the Jewish community, the Irish community, the Latino community, every other racial group has an infrastructure that's set up for them when they get over here. Black folk built the country and was just discarded of. And now that you have all these black people that's complaining about racial injustice and reparations and things that are owed to us, they don't want to talk about that. That's why that's never on the news. In my honest opinion, they'll never talk about reparations. And when they do, they'll have motherfucking Danny Glover talking about it. And that Sambo-ass Puerto Rican motherfucker that was on there at the little HR 40 study talking about, I don't need no handout. Okay, well then, nigga, then you ain't getting it anyway. You're not a foundational black American. So go ahead and claim your other shit, and then you can give our 10 million or 20 million of reparations money to a nigga that really could use it. That's the problem. They always have other black folk that are not in alignment with foundational black Americans or native blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson calls it. They'll put them people on TV to speak for us, but they'll never go and speak to the Dr. Claude Andersons, or the thought leaders of the world that's like, hey, man, disproportionately, we fucked up, man, like in a real way. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? They know that, but for the most part, white folk just have white fragility and they don't care. They just act like they don't see that shit. Cypher from the Matrix.
Resources have lower gun violence, lower poverty and crime, and better thriving communities. So I would say places where you see a high gun violence, probably look at those poverty rates and things like that. I bet they tell a story.
Last December, the city approved a resolution to provide funding to boost economic opportunities for the black community and create a task force that will help develop future policies.
I've been an Austinese for 23 years. Anytime a kid loses their life, it's like a family member. I mean, any one of my kids, my son could have been Anthony Thompson Jr. And so I wept for those mothers.
It's tragic and it's extremely painful and very, very upsetting, and I'm very...
Okay, now you just had a black sister talk, and the black sister was the first person to talk, and she said it's like losing a family member. Now they have a white teacher on here talking. She's got Black Lives Matter, and she's saying it's painful and it's upsetting. I'm waiting to see when we gonna get one of those white folk on there, one of these dominant society people on there, like Nick. I see they'll never put Nick. Nick is only gonna be on this podcast. They're not gonna put Nick on TV. They will sabotage Nick before they put him on TV, because I believe in my heart Nick will be like, this is racism. Nick will probably get up there quoting Dr. Claude Anderson, and they'll be like, all right, cut the mic. This motherfucker's crazy. Because they'll never put those type of racial groups in front of the camera that's really going to tell you how racism affects black folk. They want to put more of a softer side of a dominant white society person, like this lady. I don't know her personally, but she's crying. Maybe she's emotional. But they're not going to put somebody on here that's like basically calling out their own race. Like, y'all know what y'all doing is wrong. Y'all know what the fuck is going on. Y'all been running this country for 450 years. We've been the most violent people. Nobody wants to air out their own racial group at all. But it's easy for you to get on TV and start crying and feel bad for black folk, but that's not helping us. Tell us what's being said when we're not in the room. If you're a white teacher in Tennessee, I'm pretty sure other white teachers done got together and talked a whole bunch of shit about kids, black kids in particular, and especially nigga kids. Trust and believe me on that one. That's why I'm like, well, that's how you can tell us. Or call your own race out. Call those motherfuckers out for what they are and what they've done.
Angry that child had to die.
They've sent in counselors from across the district. There's been a counselor in every classroom to kind of, work with us, to work with the kids, to kind of get them through it. It's difficult for them to open up. And we've gotten our kids to open up, and they're angry, and they're upset. because they see things, they hear things, they experience things. Being a teacher at Austin East High School is not just a job, it's a calling. You won't make it. If you think you're coming in to save the poor little black kids, you won't make it at Austin East High School.
Now that was very interesting because, you know, it's like this movie called Doubting Thomas that you heard me and Nick talk about. Man, that movie had me dying laughing. That white dude that played the dad was an Oscar award-winning performance because he represented and he resembled a lot of how white folk would feel if they had a black baby. That white man was like, wait, okay, whose baby is this? Where's my baby? And then they're like, that's her baby. He's like, no, that's not my baby. But is my baby in another room? Like, where's my baby? And he was like, not that this black baby is not it's a gorgeous baby. But where's my baby? I know the baby's is it in another room? Do you guys got my baby in another room? They were like, no, this is your baby. He was just looking like, nigga, this is not my baby. The motherfucker couldn't sleep ever since he found out he had a black child. And then when it came out that his wife was half black, that motherfucker basically came out the back and was like, I don't want a black child. I don't want a black child at all. Then he started accusing his best friend because his best friend was black. Oh, man. Go watch that movie. It's based on a true story. And then the grandmother, basically raised her daughter white because the baby dad, he ended up getting killed trying to break up a fight or some shit like we always do. So she didn't want to raise her daughter alone, and she didn't want to raise her daughter black by herself because she was cowardly. She was woman enough to fuck, but she wasn't woman enough to see the whole process through and take it on the chin. So she went and married another white man and just raised her daughter like she was white because she knew that white man would have left her. So this is what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the dominant society. This is not shit that just sprung out of thin air. This is how they think and view and feel about black folk. It's a fact.
So right now we are at another rally. This is for Janaria Muhammad. She was one of the 5 kids who've been killed in the past school year alone.
And to know that someone would come into our lives like that and take our daughter is unbelievable.
Man, it's crazy. I didn't even want to put her name up there. Man, you just read so much. Man, Tasha, what's going on? Don't trip.
Janaria right here. This is Janaria. There's her cousin Dada. This is little aunt. You know, Justin. It's our fallen angels of the class of 2021.
Wow.
This didn't happen at school. This happened at our home. And she was targeted at our home. She got killed at home. She died right there on our sidewalk in her daddy's arms.
Black youth matter! Black youth matter!
No parent should ever have to experience this. No parent should ever have to bury their child. And the guns need to be stopped. There needs to be more education, more...
See, and this is what happens when y'all listen to the news. I'm playing this audio, this long audio, and the reason why I'm playing it so y'all can understand. You see how they twisting it? Now, her daughter, they didn't specify how her daughter got killed. I don't think her daughter got killed through any type of racial disparity or anything like that. But you see how they try to twist it into, we got to take away the guns. No, man, stop all that, take away the guns. Man, white folk ain't never giving their guns back. So I don't know why black people be getting on TV talking about take away the guns, take away the guns. Nigga, they going to be like, yeah, nigga, give your gun away. Nigga, give your gun back. We not giving our shit back. And see, we got to stop going with the wave, just like the mental health wave. Stop going with that shit because they going to flip motors the squad on you. And see, they purposely, in my personal opinion, RIP to her daughter, her granddaughter, but they purposely put this woman on here. She's talking about something that's totally different. We're talking about racial injustice. We're talking about white race soldiers killing unarmed black men and women. That's what we're talking about. And then leave it up to CNN and MSNBC to kind of twerk it to what they want and kind of, frame that picture a certain way so you can go from racial injustice to, get the gun, stop the gun violence.
Literature more something that's for these kids to get involved in besides being out here on the streets.
The event honored all of the Austin East students who have died, including Stanley Freeman Jr., Justin Taylor, and Jamarian Gillette. Right after the march, Ray's mother, Felicia Utsi, organized a showcase with the intention of empowering young people.
See? What I tell y'all, jumping around, dancing, rapping, that's what they want y'all to do. That's why it's on TV. Motherfuckers say, oh, Warren, man, you going hard. Yeah, nigga, stop the talent shows and buck dancing and rapping and singing and displaying your talent. The world knows black folk are talented. But what the world also knows is black people are dumb. And they do the dumbest bullshit, marching and whining and getting in front of the camera and me, look at me, being a peacock and showing your feathers. And then you want to do a talent show. Okay, but what about holding these race soldiers accountable for the things that they've done? Now, I played all that audio for y'all. That was about 10-minute audio for y'all. Not once did they say we're going to hold these police officers accountable. No, they basically was like, well, that was a good shoe. See, so while y'all jumping around and doing talent shows, they like, oh, look at these dumb niggas. Let's just pretend like we care and they'll go away. That's why it needs to be to stay away from being crump and leave them motherfuckers alone. And when they come around, look at them and be like, look, if you're not here to establish a system of justice, then get the fuck away from me, man. Because I don't need that shit. I'm not finna have me on TV and then you sitting up here trying to brokerage a deal. Like, no, you want to brokerage a deal? Give me $100 million. All those families. Eric Gardner only got $5 million. He got choked on TV. Literally got choked. And that Officer Pantaleo was on the police force that whole time they was doing that investigation. And then they fired him after he was able to probably collect his pension. This is what they do. So it's like, I don't understand why niggas jumping around from joy and acting a fool and let's just do a talent show. Stop with the talent show and jumping around and buck dancing. And that's what white folk want you to do. They want you to be their entertainment because that's why you're here.
We're motivating everybody to overcome violence through expression. That's the best therapy, I think, for people. So this showcase says, you got other stuff you can rap about. Let's rap about life. Let's rap about love. Let's rap about hope. Let's rap about your pains. And with
hope is delayed disappointment. That's all I'm going to play out of that. I can't hear no more of that. But it's delayed disappointment. And I'll tell you this right now. Y'all motherfuckers better understand what the fuck is going on because this shit ain't no joke. For real. Understand what's going on and know this for a fact. They want you to jump around and march and repeat. Those officers ain't going to jail. They don't care. It was like 4 officers in there wrestling with this kid and then they shot him in the bathroom. Because what's her name? Regina Perkins gonna call the police talking about, oh, hopefully we get justice. Bitch, what you mean? You called the police. But they ain't talking about that shit. Go look at this Anthony Thompson Jr. story. Go look it up and read it for yourself. You're going to be like, damn, this bitch called the police and then went on the news and had the nerve to say, I regret it and hopefully we get justice. Well, then justice should be you going to prison too. Because why would you call the police knowing what they do? You should never be able to come amongst us again after you do that. That's treason. Why would you do that? And then go on TV and talk about, oh, hopefully we get justice. And then these people up here having a talent show. Man, y'all niggas need to get that shit together, man. Hey, man, that's my time, bro. If you sit up here throwing talent shows, guilty, nigga, I don't fuck with you. I'm out, man. Peace.